Oh boy, this VM changer is turning into a career, folks. Yeah, that's the motor I have tore apart. It was so bound up with old grease, just flushing it out with contact cleaner wasn't going to work. This bottom motor mount bearing assembly, I had to, it's got a crimped edge, and this don't look very good, but I had to uncrimp that edge and take that apart and clean it out because this bushing in there, that, I'm not sure what that is, bronze or brass or whatever it is down in the center, was stuck on this shaft. It wouldn't turn, and I kept trying to pull it apart, just shoot some cleaner in there and pull it apart, and finally it pulled it out from between them fingers. Oh man, I tried to spread them apart and ease it back in there. It wasn't happening. So I had to uncrimp this edge, put it in the vise, and kind of bend it around a little bit. And it don't look pretty, but it's rolled back over. But that was an adventure and a half. And I hate to report, but the top one's the same way. And it's got this step shaft on here we don't want to bugger up. You go breaking the end of that off for your, I think that's the 78 speed, I believe, at the top. I could be wrong. It might be 16. You go breaking that off, it's pretty much game over. At least for that speed it is. You might have the rest of them, but I got to figure out if that screws off of there or how does that come off of there. And maybe I can work that up out of there real easy like, but we'll see what happens. Well, for mock purposes, I have this set up in the vise. Here's our bottom bearing. This is our top bearing. This is what this thing should do. See how much easier that thing turns now? It's amazing what a little bit of grease and some lubrication will do. Boy, that's nice. So now we can go ahead and reassemble it. Well, I didn't expect to get this involved in this thing, but it's amazing the great lengths we go to when we decide to start restoring something. I have a feeling, though, if it was like the Westinghouse, this was the easy part. This is going to be the bear, the slide action mechanism, because all this stuff has got the same goopy grease. It's almost like caramel. It's nasty. I'm not looking forward to tearing that apart, and if I do it again this time, I'm definitely going to show, I shouldn't say show, I'm going to do it the way YouTube user Chris Cuff suggested to do it in a 3-part video he did on a VM changer. I'm greasy, the camera's greasy, the turntable's greasy, but it was well worth it, because watch. That thing spins on its own now. Awesome. Let's go pop it back in and see if it'll run under its own power on the AC line over there. Well, of course this idler wheel is completely shot, but look. We have 16 speed, 33 speed, 45 speed, a very noisy 78 speed because the idler wheel is so hard. Let's go find a record and see if it'll play. Now I know it won't cycle because that part's really gunked up, but let's see if it'll play an LP maybe.
This old highway seems so lonesome when you're going where you've been. And a lonesome song can make you cry time and time again. If I had listened to a friend of mine 10 years ago today, I'd have a better job than what I...
It's not great by any means, but it is playing under its own power. I need to get an idler wheel for this one bad, and I think it would be a very strong performer. Whew, boy, I kind of doubt myself there when I tore that bottom bearing mount loose and tore that all apart, and I didn't think I'd get that thing crimped back together. Holy cow. But it seemed to have worked out, and it's playing pretty good now, but it needs an idler wheel bad. The amplifier sounds great on this thing. It's definitely not lacking for power. Something in the tuner needs some work. As you can hear as I play it, it's getting slower and slower. And if you try to put it in the automatic mode, it grinds to an immediate halt. As you can see, it doesn't take much to stall it. That idler is just completely shot. So, it's a beginning. We made some progress on it. Not too bad at all.